Hi, guys. We're here to do the promised interview. We've got today special guests Wayne and Angie Miles. And Wayne has such an incredible story and testimonial that we just wanted to take a minute so that we could introduce him to you and you could hear from his own lips just some really encouraging things, really to help you know not to give up, never give up, no matter what diagnosis or situation or anything that's come up in your life, no matter the circumstances, this guy will really convince you that you don't give up, that you keep fighting. So listen, Wayne, if you could just really introduce yourself, tell us about yourself. And if you don't mind, I know it's not the thing, but start with tell us how old you are and just give us a little brief overview of some of the challenges you've faced and what you've overcome.
Uh, I'm days away from 75,
Wow.
and I'm just living my life. I had some health challenges a number of years ago now, very serious, and was expected to die uh, soon. And so trying to get my head around that and realizing we're all going to die. And that's not the important aspect there. The important thing is how well I live the time between now and when the Lord calls me home. And so it's all about putting some quality in my day and trying to make sure that when people are in contact with me, experience me, that it's a positive thing for them. That when they, when they leave or they go home, they think, "Gee, that was great. I'm glad I spent that time with Wayne." uh, that's kind of my premise. I wake up in the morning, I thank the Lord for the day, and I start moving forward. I Angie kind of likes to say that it's I don't know how to die, and she's right, but I have some sense for how to live, and that's where I want my focus. So I'm as active as I can be, and hopefully a positive experience for the people that I encounter along the way.
I love that, Wayne. Thank you. Could you also tell us now? I know I understand that you have battled cancer not just one time, but you've several times had to face that dreaded word. You know, people hear that word and immediately all hope goes out of them. And we have so many people that we're connected to. I don't know of a single person that hasn't been touched either personally or someone they know and love that has received that diagnosis. And I understand that you've had it not just once, but several times. Could you tell us about what was the first time you were diagnosed? What did that look like? And sort of how did you combat that mentally and spiritually and physically? How did you attack that cancer?
Hmm. It's quite a while ago. In the mid 1990s, when I was about 50 years old, I was still running competitively and doing quite well. But my performances began to tail off a little bit. I was told then that you're getting older. It's just something to expect. I didn't like that. I didn't want that. So anyway, that's about the time when I started getting tested and that sort of thing. In 2001, I was diagnosed with cancer on my neck, and I had a radical neck dissection. That's why I have the skinny neck, and I'm kind of out of. There's no symmetry to me because they took a lot of tissue out of my neck, um, yeah, and that's the time first when I was told I was going to die. I didn't handle it very well. I went through the whole grief cycle about why me and all this kind of stuff. And I'm a nice guy. Shouldn't happen to nice guys, you know. Um, but when it really got down to what's important about life, that's when I things started changed for me. Um, I should not have survived, but I did. And since 2001, I've had cancer 5 times.
Wow.
Uh, Three were very major. They were going to amputate my leg at one time because of a sarcoma in my leg.
Wow.
I've had the typical old man problem. I've got prostate cancer. Had the Da Vinci, which is, if you ever see the machine, really study it because it's incredible. It's this big thing that just kind of comes at you.
Wow.
Uh, they do marvelous things. I've been blessed with the support of my wife, um, my faith, and medical professionals that have been incredible.
So I understand also that IMPaX World has been kind of an important part of your journey, yeah, and how you take care of your health. Like me, I'm also an Enterprime evangelist, love Enterprime and Delta E. So tell me how did that play into your role as you were kind of really battling to keep your health? And I love how you said, I don't know how to die, but I know how to live. And you want to live well. So can you tell me how that has played a part?
Well, that's been very important because um, so much of you know there's living is it's a real package deal. You know, there's the spiritual, the mental, you know, the physical things. Nutrition is very important, very important. I've often heard that people spend their youth and their health acquiring wealth, and then later in life they have to spend that wealth trying to regain their health because
Right.
they neglected it earlier. And so I don't recommend that. So what happened was we started taking Enterprime, one of the IMPaX products, a number of years ago, um, to sort of help us with our diet, the balance of our diet. And what actually happened over time was I realized that the IMPaX products that I was taking and I continue to take today were my foundation of nutrition, and what I ate supplemented that. And when I realized what was happening there, then 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 I became I guess much more devoted, I guess, to the IMPaX products and the nutrition there. And I'm not a scientist, uh, but I've read a lot about the ingredients that are in these products and why they're there, the quantities contained, the synergy of the products, and so I don't want to go off. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. Go someplace else.
Right.
I take these products. They have worked for me. They continue to work for me. I will be on them until I pass away.
Okay, well, you said in the beginning of your interview that at one time, you were a competitive runner. And I've heard described of you that you're an extreme runner, right? You don't just like get outside and jog 1 or 2 miles. You're the kind of guy who could run for 50 miles or run for 100 miles. I think someone even said you've done that big rim to rim run. So tell me, what does it mean to be an extreme runner, especially now at 75 years old, that you're still this active and still strong and healthy and have the energy to do what many of us have never had the strength or energy to do. So just tell me a little bit about what it means to be an extreme runner.
Well, you kind of get there by default, I think. When I was younger, I was faster and I liked to run shorter distances fast and be competitive at that. But as I aged and my leg speed diminished, I began to move to other distances. And of course, if you're going to be a runner uh, for very long, everybody starts talking about running a marathon. That becomes important. And so I started running marathons. I enjoyed all of that. A lot of it that's asphalt running or running on a track, running in on city streets and things like that for and all the events. I got an injury back in the 1980s, uh, and I couldn't run for a while. When I could resume running, I couldn't handle the impact with pavement of my feet.
Gotcha.
So I moved to dirt, which took me out to trails or dirt roads like logging roads and things like that, remote areas. And I met a group of people there that were doing that. And I enjoyed the people and I enjoyed the area we were at. And I drifted away to ultra running. And all that means is ultra, it distances longer than a marathon.
Wow.
Marathons are 26.2 miles.
Right.
42 kilometers. So I started running 50 kilometers, 50 miles. 100 kilometers, 62 miles.
Wow.
And I always thought I'd go back to running on asphalt, shorter distances, but I enjoyed the community that is ultra running so much that I stayed there. And the terrain, the just the ground itself is more forgiving and enjoyable to be on. So I started running real long things. Um, Furthest I've run at one time is 186 miles
Wow.
in Oregon. That's kind of from Mount Hood to the coast. Um, Weird thing. And then I've run the Western States 100, 100 miles from Lake Tahoe, Squaw Valley, which is, I think they're changing the name now, into Auburn. Finishes out of high school track. Angie and I went to Arizona. I've run 100 miles out in the desert,
Wow.
things like that. And what you referenced, rim to rim, that's the Grand Canyon. And if people have been to the Grand Canyon and stood at either in the north or south rim and looked at that, it's one of the most impressive things you're ever going to see. And a few years ago, I was fortunate enough to uh, get together with some friends, and we started from the south rim and the South Kaibab Trail, dropped into the canyon, ran across the canyon, crossed the river, went into a little place called Phantom Ranch, and out the other side and up to the north rim, which is 1,000 feet higher than the south rim. But
My goodness.
went up there, turned around, went back down to the bottom, back out. We came up the Bright Angel Trail. Uh, we took a little detour in the bottom because it's once you get down in there, it's almost desert-like. But in the canyon, there's a waterfall called Ribbon Falls. It's spectacular. You're in the middle of a desert scene. You come around a corner in this little canyon, and this water is spilling over probably 7,500 feet down into this pool. And there, it's ferns, it's green, it's lush, it's breathtaking, and well worth the detour off the trail.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the whole thing is about 50 miles. But the
Wow.
elevation changes a total of about 30,000 feet. So, I mean, you're either going up extremely or down. And it's one of the most exciting things I've done in my life, and been able to do it now, I think, 4 times. So it's pretty cool.
Wow. I love one, I think it's awesome that you've gone from running on pavement to sort of running back to nature. There's something, you and I share faith, and there's something about being just in creation, being out among the beauty and the things that God has created that just connects us back to Him. And I can't be in nature that I'm not full of gratitude, full of awe and wonder, and things that just elevate me and lift me just to be out there. And I love that you talked about how like the IMPaX products, Enterprime and Delta E, how that's been like foundational to nutrition, foundational things. So I wonder if you could just talk to us a little bit. I know you also have in recent years kind of embraced alkaline water and hydrogen water, and water is another thing that's just absolutely fundamental. I mean, our bodies are such a high percentage of water, and our brains, how much water we need, and the part that hydration plays, even in everyday, memory and cognitive function. But I imagine for someone, I can't imagine when you're running 50 miles, 100 miles, like what importance that hydration plays. And if you could just tell me a little bit your experience, what's your experience been with alkaline water and with hydrogen water? I know that people really just love to know what's been your testimonial.
Well, I learned through my the cancer processes, that our blood has a pH balance of about 7.5 on the scale of measurement there. And the alkaline, I decided that it would be important to me or beneficial for me to bring my pH balance into an alkaline position. If I could create a good balance within my system rather than having my system be acidic, and that cancer doesn't thrive well in the alkaline environment, but it will thrive in the acidic environment. And so I started. We had the opportunity to get some alkaline water, and we purchased the machine, had it in our home, and I was drinking it. That's what I drank all the time. I bathed in the tap water we had, and we washed dishes and all that kind of thing in our clothing. But as far as consuming it, I consumed alkaline water,
Right.
and in the hopes that it would be beneficial to my system and help prevent future cancers for me. And how do I know? Like I said, I'm not a
Sure.
scientist.
Of course.
I read things and they make sense to me, so I drift in that direction. And if it works, I think it's working, then I'm staying there. If not so much, I'm not buying this, then I'll try something else. We went, I still consume alkaline water a lot. We had the opportunity we learned a little bit about hydrogen water and its benefits. And so, because we had such a good experience, or I did at least, with the alkaline water, we purchased a second machine, and we have them both on the counter side by side. And so I had the opportunity, to drink both waters at the same time. And the hydrogen water, now again, this is just anecdotal. It's me.
Correct. Of
I don't,
course.
I don't taste food any longer because the radiation on my mouth kills all my taste buds. I can taste ginger, although I can taste it. I don't particularly like it. I can taste butter. I like. Um, but as far as the acidic water I drink, I put that in my water bottles when I'm going to go run.
Uh-huh.
I put Delta E in there. I start with Delta E in both hands, and when I'm going to run, and I do that because the hydrogen doesn't, uh, it won't survive as long in
Right.
water bottles that I carry. So,
Right.
so I don't take it, but I'm still on a lot of alcohol. But when I moved to hydrogen water to drink in my home, I realized it was lighter water, and I know it's a perception thing, and it feels to me as though it's a little lighter, it's a little more pure to me, and I sense that it gets into my system quicker. It's processed into my system
Gotcha.
faster. And I would and if I was I wouldn't testify in court to it, but I think that ordinary water takes about 20 minutes for me to start getting the benefits of. The hydrogen water is much quicker than that. I would say 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's a different experience. When I'm running, I wish I could take the hydrogen water, but I'd have to have it in glass or a container that's a lot heavier than I'm willing to carry.
Right.
So I still use the acidic water when I'm running.
No, alkaline.
Alcohol. Yeah, alcohol. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that you are, you know, sharing this is your story and that you're, anecdotal, and I really appreciate that. I'm very much the same way. If I'm ever going to talk about something, I want to talk about something I have tried and I have experienced. And like you, I will do research, but my research is basically ingesting other people's research. I don't actually do the test or actually know. It's me stepping into new realms and finding out what they've learned, and I try to learn that and apply that to my life. But I think that's very much an important factor. So much of the Western diet and Western environment does create an acidic environment for our bodies. That kind of upping the alkalinity, I think, is something that can be very beneficial and key to us in health. And certainly with you having fought cancer successfully, congratulations so many times. That's amazing. And I have not had the privilege yet to really invest in in the hydrogen water and to see what that does. I have a great curiosity. I want to really experiment for myself and see what it does for my body, for my life. But hydration is just such a key to so many things. that anything that can help us hydrate more quickly got to be beneficial. So if we could, I'd like to just talk to Angie, your loving, beautiful wife. I've had the privilege of meeting you guys in person when I was out in California, and Angie just has this lovely, bright spirit. If you're around her, you can't help but be drawn to her. She's just got such a genuine personality and just such a kindness about her. And you have never met a Delta E evangelist like Angie Miles. But Angie, if you could just talk to us a little bit, we're curious. Some people who have tried the products and have loved the products for a long time, they have a harder time sharing with other people. And I know from you, it's more like paying it forward. It's not like you're trying to sell things. It's just that you've had such a great personal investment in them and with your husband and what that's done for you. Would you just share with us a little bit about how do you talk to other people about Enterprime and Delta E and about hydrogen water and alkaline water and what your experience has been that could be helpful to others who want to share it as well?
Yes. Hello, everybody. And I've been passionate about IMPaX products since 1995. And it's a commitment I made because Enterprime, which was the first product, actually changed my whole life in the aspect of health. So the way I share it is, this is what I was struggling with. And I had a lack of knowledge of nutrition. And once I started going to the IMPaX event, I remember Dr. Aline Taylor said, if you can just take one subject, what to talk about, or something you will remember and share that, because eventually you will be like a library. Well, through my experience, my own experience, I share that. And then with Wayne, I saw the results and my knowledge through the doctors. That's why I always tell people, you must come to those events. When you go to the doctor, you don't hear why the product, natural products works. They just tell you what medication will do and the side effects. So once I started learning about IMPaX, I thought, in my country, where I was born, my mother did everything natural. So I am inclined to do that more than the chemical. But the way I share it is for those many years, I try it myself. If you don't like Enterprime in water, try smoothie. If you don't have time to do smoothie, put it in a little jar, put a little spoon, put some juice and just shake it and drink it. So I am always trying to find a way when people tell me I don't have time or I didn't like the taste. So for me is finding a way. Well, have you tried it this way? No? Well, try it next time. And now working for IMPaX, when I work in there, what I love about it is that people heard about Delta and then they didn't like the flavor. Why? Because it was too foamy. Oh, do you know that if you add a couple of cubes of ice, let it sit for a little bit, stir it, you will diminish that, but you can taste. And I even include, take it with a straw, the Delta, because the taste buds are way in the back and you can actually see 95% of the people, when I do the mix at IMPaX, they said, oh my gosh, it tastes so different. I love it. I'll get a box. And then I tell them it's 30-day money back guarantee, but please bring the empty box because we know you try it for 30 days. But the most amazing thing is people are too scared to try the natural because they don't know. And what I tell them is, but when you go to the doctor and they tell you, here's this medication, do you ever question it? Well, what's in it, right?
Right.
So for me is gaining that knowledge through all the IMPaX event. There's so many videos. I now telling people, go on our website, go watch the videos from the doctors. We have events, we have testimonies, and they are not just like any testimonies. But you know what the key is now? how do you compare your products to what's in the market? And I said, because 25 years ago, 26 years ago, we didn't know anything about phytonutrients. And then I said, now there's thousands of products out there. We were the number one. One of
Right.
the doctors told us, you are 20 years ahead of the pharmaceutical and the supplements. And that's exactly right. But you know what makes you want to continue? It's like an antibiotics. They tell you you have to take it for 7 days. Well, Prime is your food. So what I tell people is you must take it on a daily basis. This is a commitment because you have energy when you wake up, you sleep better, you feel so passionate about the more you learn, the more you feel inside. It's hard to keep it. And it's hard to tell people, look, my health changed because of these products. So for me, it's what it did for me, how it's keeping Wayne alive, how I'm able to help other people. When the machine came, all I can think of, oh my God, alkaline water. Well, Wayne is struggling with cancer, and we were told that he could die within 6 months because the reoccurrence. I bought the machine because you know what? I can live without the cable. I can live without certain material things, but I cannot live without my health, without good health. So my priority is let's focus on what kind of retirement do I want? You know, I have known people that retired before me, they already passed away.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh dear Lord, and I feel better than when I was 23. I have the energy. I can keep up with my grandkids. You know, at home, we are very active in our property. So in a prime, Delta E, IMPaX, if you try it and you are consistent, you will be your own motivation to continue. Because if you stop and you go back to the way you used to feel, and now you know what it's like feeling lousy to feeling great and then going back
Right.
to feeling lousy. I have a lot of people who has come back after 10 years and said, you know what, I tried everything, nothing like the inner prime or the delta. So to share it is believe in it, take it yourself, be committed to it. I committed to my marriage. I've been married for 44 years, and I have committed to Inner Prime for 26 years. And here I am. I am. I am so proud to say I am 67 years old, feeling like going to my 30s.
That's awesome. Thank you, Angie. That's so awesome. So, and you too, like I know the alkaline water and hydrogen water. What is your experience with hydrogen water, Angie?
Yes, um, hydrogen water for me, um, because like Aline Taylor said, we walk around dehydrated. We wake up dehydrated. So I used to do my delta in the alkaline water, 9.5. But I started noticing when I do it on the hydrogen, oh my gosh, that delta and the hydrogen together just immediately just goes right in your system and you wake up within seconds. So like Wayne was describing, it's an immediate, hydration, and the body feels it, body likes it. And then after that, I fill up my glass with, because I always use ice. I fill up, I go back and I get more hydrogen water. And I say, this is my new routine. I'm going to start with Delta E, 4 ounces of water, and then I fill up another glass of hydrogen. I'm telling you, I don't run out of energy. And then I do the Delta in the afternoon because I want to continue going until 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm up. And but I feel healthy. I love when my doctor said, he'll come a healthy patient. I wish everybody would be like you, because they don't see that, she says. Everybody that walks through the door,
Yeah.
and yeah. So hydrogen for me, I've been selling the machines because I tell people my experience. I want to share one that is so important. I had a friend of a friend come in. The lady has radiation and chemo. Her name is Robin. She's she still have teenagers. She has terminal cancer. She had an effort to drive 10, 15 minutes from IMPaX to here from her house to IMPaX. I'm going to make the story short. She heard all testimony. Wayne walked in. She heard all the testimony. She bought 2 packets of Delta, 2 boxes of Delta, and 2 in the Prime. She believed everything I told her, and she has the will to live. And that's what it takes. I said, go buy the machine. Here's a little cup, and I want you to drink as much hydrogen as you can. She drank 5 little cups, I think. Went home. She said, I'm probably going to go for a nap and sleep for hours. She came back an hour and a half later and said, I went home. I noticed I needed grocery shopping. I went shopping. I came back. I came and got my container. I need alkaline water. And she bought the hydrogen in the little bottle. She says, Angie, I have never felt so much energy. And she said, this hydrogen water did something for me. And for me, I get emotional because we are a company that cared about health and want to help people. And I am part of that. And if I enjoy life, I want other people to enjoy life in a healthy way. So trust in God. If you arrive at IMPaX and I tell people, have you been praying for your health? And 99% of people say yes. And I said that you are in the right place. They say, I feel something in here. I feel hope.
That's awesome.
And yeah, we are a company of love, want to help, want to bring you back to the way God wants you to be. As you get older, there's no reason to be miserable. God wants you to enjoy life. If you don't have health, you can not enjoy what God gives us on a daily basis, right?
That's true. That's so true. Well, thank you, Angie. Listen, I mean, your story is beautiful. Wayne at 75, still running marathons and has conquered cancer, not once, not twice, but 5 times. And you're 67, full of vitality and energy and passion and hope and encouragement. So if you've been watching this, if you've been struggling with a health challenge and you've been just looking for, I need an answer, I don't know what to do, maybe it's time to go back to the fundamentals, to go back to the basics. What are the building blocks of your body? What does it need? And it needs that pure, healthy water. We need an alkaline environment to fight off the things that are attacking us, attacking our bodies, all the chemicals and processed foods. And you need that basic nutrition that comes from Enterprime that feeds you at the cellular level, and the energy, all the B vitamins and the L-theanine that helps your brain and gives you clarity. And these things are just really elemental and fundamental. And those of us who have experienced it know it, and we just want to share it with you. That's it. At the bottom line, it's something that we have tried, it's worked for us, and we want to share it for you. So just thank you for sharing your testimony with us, both of you. Wayne, thank you. Angie, thank you so much. Such a pleasure to talk with you today. And I just, to your health, I want to toast to your health and hope that you have just a really great year ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you.